Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know what to say about today except it's Monday.
It's Monday, Dr. Seabrook, and it's time. The people have been waiting. Jen and I teased you before you came on the air, and I'm excited. I'm Chelsea Whittington, joined by Dr. Janet Seabrook, because once a month, you get to come on and talk all things health, and we are so excited to do that. Sometimes we have guests and sometimes we chop it up. Today we're chopping it up because we have a lot of recapping to do. But let me start with, how was your weekend, Doc? What did you do?
So I had a very restful weekend. Part of it was like a refresh or a reset. You know, we're in spring.
Yes.
You know, spring started in March, the latter part of March. And so just did a little refresh. Didn't want to do a lot of deep cleaning. So got a couple of those junk drawers and kind of organized that. So did a little organizing this weekend and a little reset. And I felt so great on Saturday. It was my first Saturday where I absolutely had nothing on my schedule.
I should have made something up.
It was a wonderful thing.
Well,
and my husband wasn't on call.
Oh, wow. The stars were aligned. I think that our weekends were parallel. I had a couple of things to do, but on Friday, and just tell me if this is over the limit, but I think I slept 13 hours. Is that normal?
Wow, that is not normal, but your body must have needed it.
Yes, indeed. So this is your season. When I think spring, and I've been listening to other shows and TV news stories, gardening time. So I'm going to start off with the gardening, but I have a couple of topics to talk about through the course of the show. But that is your love. You light up every time we talk about it. And I know you're waiting for all these mini frosts to go away. Yes. But what are some of the things that we can do? And let me sew it together from a health standpoint, that the gardening yields fresh fruits and produce, which is what you always emphasize for us to make a part of our diet. So
it most certainly does, but it also helps you to get outside. And so you're getting fresh air. Also doing that mental reset, you know, it helps to de-stress. So you're getting exercise, some mental exercise, refresh with your mindset, and it helps to distract you and take you away from those things that may be stressing you out. And so I like to make plans. I plan where I'm going to plant things. So I have my little sketches that I've done and what I'm going to plant where. You know, I want to mix it up. Maybe where I planted the corn last year, I'm not going to plant corn there and switch it up with something else. It's time for me to start amending my soil, meaning adding nutrients to my soil that are going to help my seedlings once I do put them out.
You are the real deal. I mean, you make the rest of us novice gardeners, if you will, seem like we're not doing enough. And I will just share that I don't do anything, but I do make sure that I have fresh produce on my...
I want to challenge you this year. I want to challenge you this year.
To grow something.
Something.
Okay.
Nothing big. Okay, maybe I'll get you a pot and I'll start it for you.
Okay.
And then it'll be your responsibility to not kill it.
Okay, I'm looking at my thumbs, but there are no shade of green, but I accept the challenge. Challenge accepted today on WJOB TV with Dr. Janet Seabrook. The other thing that I would add in these times in which we live, that growing from home is a money saver. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. If you're somebody like me, I'm saving seeds all of the time. I save seeds from watermelons and tomatoes that I, have in the house that I have purchased at the grocery store. I'm always saving seeds. I purchase seeds. And if you're buying a pack of seeds for $1.25, which I found some at the dollar store last weekend. And so when you think about the yield, the amount that you can get from those few seeds, it's definitely a cost savings.
Okay, I think I can do the tomatoes. If you're going to do me a starter plant, let it be tomatoes, because I know how to prepare them and I can put them in my salad. And I think they kind of grow on their own once you get them started, watering them.
You have to stake them up because they get heavy, so you don't want them to start bending over.
Okay.
So you do need a stake. But I'll make sure it's all staked and ready for you, Chelsea.
Doctor's orders. I'm so excited. Another job for Chelsea Whittington. Yay.
You can handle this one.
Now, I want to go back in time, and I know you may have mentioned it on the last show, but I was not able to attend. And I want to extend my congratulations. You know, last month was Women's History Month.
Yes.
And a lot of the women in the community were uplifted in so many different ways and celebrated. And in particular, you and a host of other women from around the city of Gary were highlighted by First Lady Crystal Melton of the city of Gary at her Ladies First luncheon. And I wanted to extend my congratulations. What was that like?
Oh, it was so nice. Well, you know, I also had Mrs. Melton on the show last
Yes.
month prior to the event. It
Yes.
was like the Monday before the Saturday event. So I'll say that first. And it was just an honor who have
Like you.
The firefighter.
How impressed
Oh my
was
gosh,
I?
she was awesome. She is awesome. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
And the thing about it too, a lot of the women who were being lauded are trailblazers in their fields. You saw her colleagues of the Gary Fire Department
Oh my goodness.
shouting out all the firsts. And while we love that, I'll just be transparent. I'm tired of first, Doc. I feel like at this day and age, we need to have filled all these positions, and then we have to keep going and motivating. So I love March. Not only was it my birth month, but Women's History Month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so let's move on. Speaking of Women's History Month, I saw over the weekend where one of your articles came out. You know, on a monthly basis, you are a guest author for or commentator for the Gary and Chicago Crusader. And you did your recap of Women's History Month. And I'd asked you, you know, the people who are always being honored, who are your role models? And when I read the article and I saw how it ran the gamut from the 1800s, 1900s, all the way up to present day, and I really thought it was a nice mix. Can we talk a little bit about some of those folks that you look up to and you admire as women?
So one of the things that I found out probably during the pandemic, because we had a lot of spare time, read a story about the first African American physician, Rebecca Stempler.
Yes.
And it came to be that she was the first black physician in the United States to practice medicine. And she passed away after a very long life, but never had a headstone.
Oh, wow.
And so her remains, her burial plot was discovered, cleaned up, and she got a headstone. She now has a headstone.
Wow.
And it's a part of the National Park's responsibility to take care of her. But I thought that it was so, because the person who was researching and looking into her background enlisted people to help find the burial site.
Nice.
And they were able to find it.
That's
and
amazing.
So that was one of the people that I wanted to recognize in the article. And then the other was, of course,
You had two more. So
Well,
one was Dr. Folston.
yeah, Dr. Reva Folston. So she was a trailblazer for the city of Gary as far as health commissioner.
Yes.
She was the first African American woman as the city of Gary's health commissioner.
And who's the second?
I am. But it took 30 years.
30 years.
And I don't want to see another 30 years transpire
Same.
before there is another woman as health commissioner for the city of Gary. And I think that as we move forward, we'll start to see that we have the ability to do that.
You're so polite, Dr. Seabrook. What she means is we'll do better. Let's do better in filling these roles more consistently. And a little trivia on Dr. Folston, and shout out if she happens to see this one of these days. But I actually attended elementary, middle, and high school with her son Amia and her son Brian and Howard.
Oh, wow.
With her sons Amia and Brian. And Amia was our valedictorian. He went on to do engineering and also divinity. And his mom would often come and speak to us at school. She was also a poet. You may remember You Don't Live on My Street.
Yes.
And so she reminds me of you in that you all are diverse. You're not just physicians, you're in the community. You love to garden and speak and write and cook. And so I love that about having those different diverse attributes that all make up the phenomenal women that you are. So shout out to Dr. Folston. City of Gary Health Commissioner #1 back in the 80s.
Yes.
And then now, 2024 was your appointment up until now and moving forward. Dr. Janet Seabrook, what has it been like serving as a health commissioner before we talk about your third hero?
Okay, it has been quite a year. The mayor challenged me with several things to accomplish. One, the very first task was to complete the application to get Gary designated as an AARP age-friendly city. And I did that within the first month of coming in office. I started February 1st and had the application in before the end of February.
Well, that's why we know you got the right one. And speaking of AARP, I'm starting to get like letters and notes from them and sign-ups after. Well, it really started when I turned 50, which was a few years ago. And so I'm like, I guess I need to yield to that.
I have to tell you this joke. When I turned 21, my sisters gathered together with my parents, and they had the birthday cake, and they're singing, so I'm opening gifts and cards. And my sisters had applied to AARP for me at 21.
At 21.
And that was the biggest family joke of every birthday, because I was, firstborn, so it's like, oh, she's over the hill. Let's put on. They rolled. It was so hilarious.
Well,
so that's like the family joke every time my birthday comes around.
And I'll do you one on my side. When I turned 50, a general postcard came to our home just saying to the residents at this address, and my husband left that postcard on my pillowcase. Like, this is for you because I'm younger than you. I was like, okay, well played, Mr. Whittington, well played. But I am appreciative that you went ahead and took that initiative, and there's several initiatives moving forward on behalf of the seniors in Gary, so kudos to Mayor Melton and his team as far as pulling together some type of aging council.
Age-friendly council.
Age-friendly council.
And that comes as a part of that's one of the things that you are charged to do when you do receive this designation as an age-friendly council. You must put together, age-friendly city. You must put together a council that will then help you achieve those pillars, those goals of making it a walkable, age-friendly city. And so they have their jobs cut out. I'm just an honorary member.
Don't you love that title? Well, it makes me excited as I continue to move along the age range that these things will be in place for us as I continue to live in the city of Gary toward my senior years. Nice. So there was one more person you mentioned in your article, but you have something more for the commissioner?
So it's health commissioner. It was an age-friendly city. Also maternal and child health.
That's right.
And we put together a program for that in conjunction with the Northwest Indiana Cooperative. And so they're going to be carrying out the work on behalf of the Gary Health Department to help reduce maternal and child health. When you have other resources in the community that are already doing the work, in my opinion, you partner with them.
Yes, don't reinvent the wheel.
Right, exactly. And so they're out there in the community doing the work. And so the health department had a small amount of funds to be able to assist them in that work. And they're doing that work on behalf of the collaborative in partnership with the Gary Health Department.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So, but can I ask you, because it's a rampant situation when we talk about infant mortality, morbidity, what are some of the contributing factors, particularly in the African American community, that causes this?
So you think about stress, mental health, and its impact on the pregnancy, also hypertension and other chronic diseases, smoking, unfortunately drug usage. And so there are multiple things that impact a mom when she's pregnant. And you think about after the child is born, what are the circumstances? Is there stable housing? Is there enough, food in the house? Formula for the child? Are they enrolled in WIC? So there are so many things. Does the mom have a healthy diet when she's pregnant? What are her circumstances? Where is she living? So there are so many things. Does she have stable housing that can impact the pregnancy? And so the cooperative, it is their job to go out and educate, speak to women, find resources that can help put them in better circumstances while they're pregnant.
Yes, and I would venture to add on the access to health care.
Correct.
And shameless plug, as we will get into further into the conversation of you being the CEO of Community Health Net Healthcare Centers, the amazing child care and pregnant moms, pregnant mothers programming that you have there that help get them on that path to being taking care of their bodies, which increases the survival rate and the health of the baby, etc. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. And our health center is dedicated to our moms and providing the best quality, comprehensive maternal health services that we have to offer. We have some of the best pediatricians in the city of Gary, in my personal opinion, who have been around for a long time, and they just love the city of Gary and the families that are in Gary. So we look at it as a holistic way to take care of our moms and then the infant being matched with one of our pediatricians. But we have programs such as centering pregnancy. In our Hammond office, we're working with the Northwest Indiana Food Bank, and we're matching those moms with nutritious food boxes for them during their pregnancy, to make sure that they have the items that they need to help have a healthy pregnancy. So Community Health Net, we're trying to do the things.
You see how I work that in there?
Yeah,
I mean, I love you all. Always have so many things going on. But drum roll for the third person that you highlighted in your article. And everybody, please go out and get your Gary Chicago Crusader, where you have your guest column.
So was that? I think that was Mae Jemison.
Yes, it
Dr.
was.
Mae Jemison. Oh my God, she is my role model and idol. She is an internal medicine physician, but she also is a NASA astronaut.
Wow.
And I've never really told the story. Well, everybody knows the story about me in kindergarten and wanting to be a doctor.
Yes.
But I actually wanted to be an astronaut as far as, and people told me, well, you can't do that. You have to pick one. So I picked being a doctor. And I got to meet her, and she is the most fascinating. I had read her story before I got to meet her. And just out of the blue, I was at a National Medical Association conference, minding my own business, looking through the agenda, and she was one of the speakers.
And you had to fall out your chair, huh?
No, I broke my neck. I was in the main hall. And when I found out which room she was going to be in, I broke my neck to get in there and get on the first row.
I love it.
And I mean, I'm just like hanging on every word that she said. And then afterwards, they had her outside of the room in the grand hallway, and I stood in that line
and waited.
I did.
I love it.
And I have a little, back then, I'm telling my age, they had cameras. I have a little camera on my wrist.
So that it could be developed later, and pray that it came out right. Hilarious.
I was like, take more than one.
I love it.
The person behind me said, oh, no problem. So I said, would you take my picture? Would you take a picture with me? And she said yes. And we took a
no
picture.
selfies, are they?
Yeah, right.
No such a thing. Well,
and she is, as you can see.
Yes, she lights you up, and I always got to match your story for mine with one. I have my own Mae Jemison, Dr. Mae Jemison encounter. I've got my first degree in broadcast journalism from Howard, and she was on campus, and yours truly got the opportunity to interview her on HUT TV. We were in the TV studio.
Howard TV?
In Howard TV studio. And that was one of our assignments for our broadcast class, and she popped in. And the challenge was, how do you cut a guest off when they're going on and on?
How do you do
it smoothly? I've been doing it for so many years.
You don't even know you're doing it.
Yes, I'm like, and so as we wrap up this segment, I said, you're going to ask me to cut Mae Jemison off. But it was all in fun. She knew what the exercise was, and she was very cordial and warm. Yes, and I have to find those pictures now, Doc. I know I took them, but it was like a long time ago.
She is so personable.
Yes.
And yes, you have to be smart to be a doctor. You have to be extra smart to be an astronaut.
And she was doing both.
And brave.
True indeed. Because she was going into uncharted waters many times, or space rather. And I'm so glad that you shared those with us, because for me, while we want to convey to the young ladies who come behind us that to use us as role models and inspirations so that they can reach their goals, and let them know that anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Sounds good. Now, for April, I always do a Google search of what different things that are in April. Is April colorectal cancer month?
That was last month.
Was last
March
March?
was colorectal cancer. We wore
Okay.
our blue
Oh, that's
on
right.
Fridays in the office. And I went to I was invited to a breakfast last month with Ladies in Charge.
I saw that.
They closed down Applebee's, and Applebee's served pancakes.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
we
Did
had,
you approve of that? With syrup? Oh my goodness, that's groundbreaking for you.
I ate me a pancake.
Just one.
I ate
Oh,
a pancake.
True fashion.
They had bacon. I didn't eat the bacon
Okay.
because it wasn't turkey bacon, but that's okay. Anyway.
They shut it down for you.
Yes. Well, not for me, for Ladies in Charge.
Okay.
But it was so awesome because they asked me to speak.
Okay.
And just in general about cancers in general, taking better care of your health and things like that. And we got so much positive feedback from the audience, and people wanted to share their stories. And I could not believe how many people in the audience, when I talked about colon cancer, they either raised their hand, and I didn't ask anybody, they were raising their hand or either saying they had colon cancer, they were a survivor, or they had family members that were survivors of colon cancer.
Wow.
Then same with breast cancer.
Yes.
And then people wanted to volunteer for our annual breast cancer walk that's coming up in September. So people were giving me their phone numbers and business cards. And it was so incredible the amount of people who actually said that they were survivors of colon cancer.
Wow.
And it came from routine screening for doing a colonoscopy after having a positive screen.
Yes. So even though it was in March, and I'm just now talking to you now, can you please go over the steps that we should take? A lot of times we wait for symptoms, and there's an age range that we should just start getting screenings like we do everything else.
Correct.
And as soon as we say the word colon, everybody cringes and they're like, I don't want to know, and I don't want that type of invasive procedure. But doc, something's got to be done because people are dying from this.
No, so you're right. And so before we start to wrap up, I will talk about that and then give a little bit of information about our breast cancer walk. So for colon cancer screening, what you want to do is, like you said, you don't wait until you have symptoms, because typically if you're having symptoms, it may be too late.
Okay.
So the age range for screening was moved from 50 to 45.
Ooh.
So particularly in African Americans. And so you should go and see your healthcare provider. Sometimes they'll ask you to do the stool test first, fecal cold screening test, and you can get those now. You see the television commercials where you can get it. It comes to your house. It's private. You can do the screen at home and then send the test kit in. The results come to you. You take them to your doctor. But if you're 45 and above and there's a family history, you need to have those conversations, because you may want to start those colonoscopies, which you have every 10 years. You want to start those at 45 now and not at 50.
Got it. And last but not least, as we get out of here, we got to keep talking about it, the breast cancer awareness walk.
Sure. So the last Saturday, and that's Saturday, September 27th, at Marquette Park, Community Health Net will host this annual, and I've lost count now. So we've been doing this. Yeah, we've been doing this for over 20 years. Our annual breast cancer walk. Registration at 9. The walk starts at 10. You can call 219-880-1190 and ask for Sonia Garrett. She is over our outreach, and this will be her first year. Amanda and I will be providing support, but Sonia is going to be taking over.
I'll help too now.
Yes, taking over the breast cancer walk as far as, the marketing and making arrangements with the vendors and the park department and things like that. Well,
after my little breast cancer scare at the beginning of the year, I am all hands on deck. Dr. Seabrook, I just looked over my shoulder. I cannot believe it is after 9 o'clock. Where did the time go?
The time went so quick.
That's because our health is so important, and we need to keep talking about it. Last but not least, where can they find you for Community Health Net?
You can call 219-880-1190 for an appointment, or you can go to chn-indiana.org, or just put in Community Health Net and it'll pop up. You can go to our brand new website.
Yes.
It has been updated. I'm so excited. I really didn't understand when staff came to me and said, Dr. Seabrook, we have to do this. We have to make some changes.
Refresh. And
now I can see the big difference that it made by doing that refresh.
And coming to a website near you, the refresh of drjanetseabrook.com. But that's for the next show. Dr. Seabrook, thank you for always being filled with knowledge, energy, and being a role model to all. And we'll see you next month, first Monday in May.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody for watching.